There is a secret about the female mind that the most magnetic women in the world know. A secret that has nothing to do with being beautiful, successful, or young. It is something so powerful, so magnetic, that if you apply it just once, he will choose you even though he has 1,000 other options. Have you ever wondered why some women have men completely obsessed with them? Why they make men who seemed totally uninterested suddenly pursue them like their life depends on it? The answer is not what you think. It's not about playing hard to get, being perfect, or following dating rules. Carl Jung spent 60 years studying the human psyche, and what he discovered will completely shatter everything you believe about attraction. But first, I have to tell you something that might shock you. Most women are currently doing the exact opposite of what actually works. They try to prove their worth, compete for attention, and become what they think men want. And this makes them completely invisible to the love they're desperately seeking. Have you ever felt that crushing pain of giving your all, being the perfect woman, always available and understanding, yet he still doesn't choose you? You still feel like you're just another option to him. What Jung discovered goes against everything we've been taught about love and relationships. It's so simple, it seems obvious, yet so revolutionary it can transform your entire love life in a matter of days. Today, you're going to discover this secret. You're going to understand why it works on such a deep psychological level, and most importantly, you're going to learn exactly how to embody it in your own life. Because the time has come for you to stop accepting the role of second choice. It's time for you to be chosen not as an option, but as the only choice that makes sense to him. But first, I need you to stay with me on this journey into the depths of the human psyche. If something inside you is already stirring, in the comments, write just one word: anima. That word represents the feminine energy that lives within every man's unconscious mind. And when you write it, you're declaring your readiness to awaken this ancient power within yourself. To understand Jung's revolutionary discovery, I need to take you deep into the landscape of the masculine psyche, where he found something that changed psychology forever. During his decades of work with patients, Jung noticed a pattern that seemed to defy all logical explanation. He observed men who would abandon everything for one particular woman, who would choose her above all others, even when she wasn't conventionally the most beautiful or successful. There was something else at work, something invisible yet more powerful than any external quality. Jung called this the anima, the feminine soul image that lives in every man's unconscious mind. And here's where it gets fascinating. Every man is unconsciously searching for the woman who embodies his anima, who reflects back to him this lost part of his own soul. But here's the problem that Jung identified, and it's still happening today. Most women are trying to appeal to a man's conscious mind, his ego, his surface desires. They're competing on the wrong battlefield entirely. They're trying to be the smartest, the most accommodating, the most physically perfect. But the anima doesn't care about any of that. The anima is drawn to something far deeper, something that can't be faked or manufactured. Jung discovered that the women who truly captivated men were those who had undergone what he called individuation, the process of becoming whole, of integrating all parts of themselves, both light and shadow. Have you ever noticed how when you try desperately to win a man's love, he seems to pull away? When you mold yourself into what you think he wants, his interest mysteriously fades. That's because you're trying to connect with his ego when his soul is searching for something entirely different. Jung found that deep in every man's psyche lives an image of the divine feminine. Not the performed feminine, not the people-pleasing feminine, but the authentic, whole, unashamed feminine. And when a man encounters a woman who embodies this wholeness, something ancient awakens within him. His anima recognizes her like a key finding its lock. This recognition bypasses all rational thought. It's not something he can explain or analyze. He just knows, on a cellular level, that he has found something rare and precious. something he didn't even know he was looking for until that moment. Think about the women you know who seem to effortlessly attract deep, committed love. You'll notice they share one quality. They are unapologetically themselves. They haven't sacrificed their essence to fit into someone else's idea of desirable. They've done the inner work to become whole. But what does this inner work actually look like? How do you access this magnetic authenticity that Jung wrote about? The answer lies in understanding what he called the individuation process, and it begins with facing the parts of yourself you've been taught to hide. Jung believed that we all carry a shadow, the aspects of our personality that we've rejected, denied, or pushed away because we were told they weren't acceptable. For women, this often includes anger, ambition, sexuality, independence, or even joy. We're taught to be nice, to not take up too much space, to be agreeable above all else. But here's what Jung discovered. When you reject parts of yourself, you become incomplete, and incompleteness, no matter how perfectly performed, can never truly satisfy the anima's search for wholeness. The woman who attracts soul-deep love is the one who has reclaimed her shadow. She's integrated her anger into healthy boundaries. She's transformed her ambition into purposeful action. She's owned her sexuality without shame. She's embraced her independence as strength, not threat. If you're finding value in this journey we're taking together, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. No pressure, just if it feels right to you. Because the deeper we go into Jung's wisdom, the more life-changing these insights become. Now let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was 32 and had spent years in relationships where she felt she was auditioning for love. She would carefully monitor her words, suppress her opinions, and mold herself into whatever she thought each man wanted. And every relationship ended the same way, with him saying she was wonderful, but somehow not quite right for him. When Sarah discovered Jung's work on individuation, everything changed. She began the uncomfortable but liberating process of shadow work. She started expressing her real opinions, even when they weren't popular. She set boundaries instead of being endlessly accommodating. She pursued her own dreams instead of always supporting his. And something magical happened. Instead of driving men away, as she had feared, she began attracting a completely different caliber of man. Men who were drawn to her strength, not threatened by it. Men who found her authenticity intoxicating rather than inconvenient. The man she eventually married told her something that perfectly captures Jung's discovery. "I fell in love with you because you're the only woman I've ever met who seems complete on her own. You don't need me to be whole, but you choose to share your wholeness with me." This is the secret Jung uncovered. When you stop trying to be what you think he wants and start being who you actually are, you activate something in the masculine psyche that is absolutely irresistible. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you're embodying something rare in this world. An individuated woman. But individuation isn't just about reclaiming your shadow. Jung identified 3 essential stages of this transformation, and each one makes you more magnetic to authentic love. The first stage is shadow integration. This means looking honestly at the parts of yourself you've disowned and finding healthy ways to express them. Your anger becomes your advocacy. Your selfishness becomes your self-care. Your wild side becomes your creativity. When you stop fighting against these aspects of yourself, you become whole. The second stage is what Jung called anima integration for women, embracing your full emotional and intuitive nature without apology. This means trusting your instincts, honoring your feelings, and refusing to rationalize away your feminine wisdom. When you fully inhabit your intuitive power, you become a mystery that the masculine mind wants to explore forever. The third stage is self-realization, living from your authentic center regardless of outside approval. This is when you stop performing femininity and start embodying it. You stop seeking validation and start generating your own sense of worth. You become like a sun, radiating energy rather than reflecting it. And here's what Jung observed. When a woman completes this individuation process, she doesn't just transform her love life, she transforms everything. At work, she stops over-explaining herself and starts trusting her expertise. With friends, she stops people-pleasing and starts having real conversations. With herself, she develops an unshakable relationship built on respect and genuine affection. Men sense this transformation immediately. There's something different about an individuated woman that they can't quite name but absolutely cannot ignore. She doesn't chase, but she's not playing games either. She's simply living her full truth, and that truth is magnetic. But let me be completely honest with you about what this transformation requires. It's not easy. It goes against everything we've been taught about how to be loved. You'll have to release the fantasy that you need to be perfect to be chosen. You'll have to let go of the belief that your worth comes from male approval. You'll have to face the terrifying possibility that when you show up as your real self, some people won't like what they see. And here's the part that feels most frightening. You'll have to trust. Trust that your authentic self is worthy of love. Trust that the right person will be drawn to your truth, not repelled by it. Trust that you don't have to diminish yourself to make others comfortable. But the rewards of this trust are beyond what most women ever dare to imagine. Picture waking up every morning knowing that you are complete, whole, and valuable exactly as you are. Imagine the freedom of loving without fear, without clinging, without the desperate need to control how others see you. Imagine entering relationships not because you're empty and need to be filled, but because you're overflowing and want to share that abundance. Imagine being loved not for who you pretend to be, but for exactly who you are in all your complex, beautiful humanity. This is what Jung's individuation process offers. It's not just about attracting a man. It's about becoming the woman you were always meant to be. And that woman, Jung discovered, is absolutely irresistible to mature, authentic love. When you embody your full individuation, you stop attracting men who want to fix you, save you, or change you. You stop drawing in those who are intimidated by strength or threatened by independence. Instead, you naturally magnetize men who are ready for real partnership, who want to grow alongside you, who see your wholeness as an invitation to become whole themselves. The man who chooses an individuated woman knows he has found something precious. He doesn't take her for granted because he understands that she chooses to be with him every day. Not out of need, but out of love. And that conscious choice creates the kind of relationship that Jung believed was the highest expression of human connection. This is the secret that can transform not just your love life, but your entire existence. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming who you've always been underneath all the masks and roles and performances. Jung spent his life proving that when we have the courage to face ourselves completely, to integrate all our parts, to live from our authentic center, we become magnetic to everything we truly desire. The love, the respect, the deep connection we've been seeking has been waiting for us to become whole enough to receive it. Now that you know this secret, you can never unknow it. The question is, are you ready to begin your own individuation journey? Are you prepared to trade the exhausting performance of being perfect for the liberating truth of being real? Because once you start this path, everything changes, and the woman you become on the other side, the integrated, whole, authentically powerful woman. She doesn't just get chosen. She becomes the choice that changes everything for the man wise enough to recognize her worth. If you found value in this journey we took together, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. No pressure, just if it feels right to you. And if this message has awakened something inside you, if you can feel your soul stirring with recognition, then share this with the women in your life who are ready for this deeper truth. Share it with your sisters, your friends, your daughters. Because when one woman steps into her full power, she gives every other woman permission to do the same. Remember, Your individuation journey starts now, and the love you've been seeking your entire life is waiting on the other side of your courage to be completely, authentically, unapologetically you.